This is the worst case scenario for Donald Trump right now. The Wall Street Journal article detailing Donald Trump's letter to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday party in 2003, where Donald Trump allegedly drew a photo of a naked girl, and in the center, he wrote words to the effect of, "Our enigmas never age," and we should always keep our secrets together forever, or words to that effect. Apparently, that is just the tip of the iceberg of some of the other stories that are about to drop regarding Donald Trump and his connections with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And as I've said before, Ghislaine Maxwell has been given a golden ticket by Donald Trump for a retrial, or for her to even seek a pardon. And where we're hearing that this is just the tip of the iceberg, the Wall Street Journal story, are from some of the reporters who know the most about Jeffrey Epstein, like Julie K. Brown, who's written some of the definitive articles for the Miami Herald about Jeffrey Epstein. So I want you to think about Ghislaine Maxwell and what's been going on today. Can we follow this timeline together and speculate together if Ghislaine Maxwell is just completely outmaneuvering, checkmating, and cornering Donald Trump like the little weak, pathetic rat that he is? So you go back to what, at this point, 2 weeks ago, where the Justice Department comes out with that unsigned memo from the FBI and the DOJ, which says there is no Epstein list. We're shutting down all investigations. Case closed, right? Then you go to last weekend and Donald Trump says, well, actually, it's all one big hoax. The list exists. The Epstein files exist. It's one gigantic hoax that's taking place, created by Democrats, created by James Comey, Trump's the former FBI director. It's created by former President Obama, former President Biden, and Hillary Clinton. They came up with the hoax. So I said that pretty much gives Ghislaine Maxwell a golden ticket for a retrial. She's going to say, if Donald Trump claims that all of the files are a hoax, then shouldn't I get a retrial if everything is one big hoax? And then Donald Trump one step further, because he fired this past week Maureen Comey, the federal prosecutor in Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal case, also the federal prosecutor in Jeffrey Epstein's criminal case. Now, Maureen Comey is the daughter of James Comey. So as I say that Donald Trump has given Ghislaine Maxwell a golden ticket for a retrial, in addition to Ghislaine Maxwell going to argue, well, hey, the president of the United States says that everything is a hoax regarding my case, she's going to say, I also learned that the president of the United States is saying that the father of the prosecutor in my case, the federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York case, who got my conviction and put me in jail for 20 years, her dad was the one responsible for the hoax, and she didn't disclose that. That's what Ghislaine Maxwell's going to argue. Now, behind the scenes, you had Ghislaine Maxwell's friends and family. They penned an open letter. They posted online, and they said, hey, Donald, you better honor your deal. That's what they said. Honor your deal, honor deals that exist. And they say your former labor secretary, Alex Acosta, when he was the United States attorney, the top federal prosecutor in the Southern District of Florida in 2007, he entered into a non-prosecution agreement with Jeffrey Epstein, stating that he would not prosecute Epstein in any federal court in the entire country, and would not prosecute any of Epstein's co-conspirators. Ghislaine Maxwell is a co-conspirator. That deal should be honored. That's what Ghislaine Maxwell is arguing to the United States Supreme Court, and her family and supporters posted a letter saying they're going to make that argument again to the Supreme Court soon in reply to some of the filings there. And then you have her influencer friends, who were some of the people who were also invited to the White House and got those Phase 1 binders. Yeah, the people who wear free Ghislaine Maxwell shirts. Those are some of the people who were invited to the White House to get the Phase 1 binder when Pam Bondi said she was going to release all of the Epstein files and the Epstein list shortly thereafter, which she never did. So those influencers have been saying, hey, Donald Trump, give her a pardon, you give her a retrial, give her a pardon, give her a retrial. And so now the Wall Street Journal turns up, this leather-bound book from 2003 involving Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday party and the letters he received. The way it's described in the Wall Street Journal is that Ghislaine Maxwell put the compilation together. There was an official leather binder, someone whose job was to put together, the bookmaker who put it together, but Ghislaine got all of the letters. And the Wall Street Journal went through very specific details about all of Epstein's other rich friends who wrote letters for his 50th birthday, and one of them was Donald Trump. So Donald Trump freaks out about the Wall Street Journal's story. And I'm thinking to myself, who are the likely sources to give the Wall Street Journal, that information? I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison, so I'm not sure she can do it, but you have to think to yourself, I mean, who are the likely suspects? I mean, could it be somebody? I don't know the answer, so I want to be clear that I'm just speculating. But could it be somebody on her legal team? Could it be one of her family members or supporters? Who would be someone who probably knows where this binder is? So who can that be? And then I think to myself, well, why'd they give it to the Wall Street Journal versus the New York Times, Washington Post, or somewhere else? Because I think whoever leaked it wanted to produce the effect that it did. They knew that Wall Street Journal in Trump's world, in MAGA world, would have more credibility than New York Times, Washington Post, or anything else. If the Wall Street Journal would report on it, then surely it would have a more credible impact because they're closer to Donald Trump's world. Now, Donald Trump has been consistently attacking the Wall Street Journal over and over and over again. So I think the Wall Street Journal was willing to publish this story, and they probably went through a very rigorous fact check. But I want you to think about now what the dynamic is. Hey everybody, Ben Meiselas here from the MeidasTouch Network. I wanted to let you know about my podcast partner, Michael Popak's new law firm. It's called the Popak Firm. Michael Popak's pursuing his dream of starting his own law firm, really based on the popular demand by all the Meidas Mighty and legal AFers who are approaching Michael Popak with their cases and saying, can you help us? And at that time, Popak was not able to. So he went out on his own. He started the Popak Firm, where he is now handling catastrophic injury cases like car accident cases, trucking cases, malpractice cases, big negligence cases, wrongful death cases. So if you or someone you know have a case like this, the consultation with Popak's firm is free. Give him a call. See if you have a case. It's thepopakfirm.com, thepopakfirm.com, or you can call 877-POPOK-AF, P-O-P-O-K-A-F. So 1-877-POPOK-AF. Give Michael Popak a call. And I'm really proud of you, Popak. Thanks for all the hard work you're putting in. So one of the things that Donald Trump did when he panicked 2 nights ago is he had his Department of Justice file in the Southern District of New York federal court a request to unseal certain pertinent grand jury testimony, which then the Trump DOJ said they would redact some of the testimony that they would take a look at it. They would redact the pertinent testimony, get rid of victim's name, and redact other testimony that wasn't relevant. And as I've said before, the grand jury testimony just makes up a very small portion of the files that should be released, probably about 1%. The grand jury testimony aren't the witness statements to the FBI and all of the logs and lists and wiretaps and videos and all of the documents and things that were confiscated at Epstein's complex and Ghislaine's complex. All of that stuff is not going to be in the grand jury testimony. The grand jury testimony is just going to be the testimony itself, and it's not going to be a lot of it. So it's really a small portion of the file. But now, again, going back to Ghislaine right now. So Donald Trump has now basically reopened proceedings in the Southern District of New York. He's turned the case hot again, if you will. So now the judge is going to be looking into this request. So to me, if you play this out and you go through what Ghislaine's been doing over the past few weeks, so now Trump's gone to this judge. The judge is going to be reviewing the filing of Donald Trump to unseal certain very small portions of the case file. So to me, you're going to have Ghislaine go to the federal judge soon, and she's going to ask, well, then look, I should get the retrial. Trump said it's a hoax. He's now saying to release these documents. I should be able to let me, I want to have a say in this right now, especially if this is a hoax against me. And then separately, what this has also opened up as well is that she's likely going to become a witness. I'm not sure if she's the source or if someone close to her, but she'll probably become a witness now in the Trump lawsuit against Murdoch, because if one of the ways that Murdoch could easily get the case dismissed against Trump is go to Ghislaine. Hey, Ghislaine, did he write this? Yeah, of course he wrote. What happened? You'll take a interview of Ghislaine in prison, take her deposition, and now she becomes a central figure in that lawsuit where she can spill the beans in connection with the lawsuit that Donald Trump just stepped into. Unless, maybe she won't be as do you see what's going on here? Maybe she won't become as cooperating of a witness now if Donald Trump doesn't give her if Trump gives her a retrial, or if Trump gives her a pardon. Maybe that changes the way that she testifies. I don't know. Maybe she remembers less. I'm just speculating here, but it makes her a real power maker over the Trump presidency. I just want to reemphasize that right now. And this is why I've always said Donald Trump is compromised. I don't think he's not just compromised in terms of how weak and pathetic he is internationally. And Hillary Clinton pointed this out, and Kamala Harris points out he's a compromised guy. So the fact that his past is so dark and is so sick, and that Mar-a-Lago was used as one of the grounds where Epstein and Ghislaine would find girls like Virginia Giuffre, who were towel girls at Mar-a-Lago, and then bring them to be sex trafficked with Epstein. Hey, you want to meet a rich guy, Epstein? He's going to help you out. The fact that Donald Trump's, hung with Epstein and all of these things, you basically have Trump is panicked right now, right? He ran out of a press conference yesterday, and Ghislaine is in the driver's seat. Ghislaine kind of is the one running the show now when it comes to what Donald Trump, is going to do next. And I think she's flexing that. Now Trump has sued Murdoch. Murdoch says he's ready to defend. Right? Trump's fired the main prosecutor, Maureen Comey, from the Southern District of New York. He's reopened proceedings with the Southern District of New York federal prosecutor, saying just release a small portion of this. All of these stories are coming out about Donald Trump. And if Ghislaine were to come out there and say, I know everything, let me tell you what happened, could totally be, that could be it. That could be a ball game, folks. So those are the moves that she's making. Tell me what you think about that. I'm interested to hear what you think about that, but just follow the sequence of what's happened. The influencer friends, her family and supporters come out with the statement about the retrial. The leak to the Wall Street Journal of this book that she was the one who helped put together. Right? Anyway. You tell me what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million.
New Meidas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.meidastouch.com.